Nobody else makes a floor plan like this.
Storage, pantry, fridge, all kinds of storage. And then this is now my kitchen. Look at all the space I have. We can all sit together as a family on this couch. This is what the slide is for. And we're maybe overlooking like the most obvious thing is these windows.
Alright, good afternoon friends, and welcome to our tour of our brand new 2024 Salem 29 View. What are your first impressions so far?
So far, it's definitely going to work out the floor plan for our family. There's some quirky things that we've noticed, at least on the inside, and at least one thing that I can think of on the outside, but
we'll tell you what we love and what we hate. I mean, there's no perfect camper.
I'm still excited about this one.
This one, it really fits the bill for us, especially compared to what we're coming from. So let's get into it. So friends, like I said, 29 View, and this thing is 35 feet long. It's quite a long beast. This is the driver's side. The gross vehicle weight comes in at 9,800 and some change, and over 1,000 pounds of tongue weight is what it's listed at dry, but I think it's quite a bit more than that in reality. We'll show you why in a minute. We're pulling it with a Ram 2500 6.4 Hemi, 410 gears out back, and I gotta tell you, I would want no less truck than this to pull this beast. She puts a hurtin' on the rear suspension with all that tongue weight. So we come with two 20-pound propane bottles, which I'll be honest with you, probably isn't enough. But if you was to upgrade to 30 pounds, that's more weight on the hitch. So we'll see how it works out. But so far we've used a ton of propane on this trip. We were here for 4 days. I mean, it was cold, but I think we're about empty. We're running two 6-volt golf cart batteries. There's a video, if you scroll back a ways, all about why we chose to go that route. And then we've got a Camco R6 1,200-pound hitch. One nice thing they've got for us up front is a place to put your 7-way and your trailer chain. I really like that. It's a nice feature that we didn't have before. So the front pass-through is pretty large. There's a ton of space in here, which is why I'm telling you that the tongue weight is quite a bit more than the 1,000 pounds dry weight, because I've estimated that we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 pounds worth of stuff in here. That's why I'm saying it's probably pushing 1,500 pounds on the trailer tongue. That's probably the only exterior deficiency, is all your storage spaces up front. There's zero storage in the back. So like in our old rig, a lot of this stuff was behind the axles, now it's in front. The biggest feature that we love about this trailer on the outside is this huge 22-foot awning. It's going to provide us with a lot of shade and cover out of the rain in some of our future endeavors, I'm sure. So you've watched us complain about leopard steps a million times. These are more ride, and so the leopards, they had like pins that you had to fumble around with. These, you just pull this and slide it in and out. And so when you put them down, if they're all the way in, you just click it until they end up in the right spot. So it's real quite simple and easy. Now you still have the drawback of dirt on these going into the rig. At least it's easy to deal with, because we move the rig around a lot and we travel fast. Even at home, if we're moving it around or something, it was really a pain before. This is going to make it way easier. That's the Mo-Ride steps. These quick drop stabilizers made by Lippert are the best thing in the world. The water fill for the fresh tank is on this side of the camper, which does kind of suck, actually. Most of the time when you pull into a campground, the hose is on the other side, so now you got to run it underneath the rig and up to here, and it becomes a two-person job because one person's got to hold the hose while the other person the fountain. So that does kind of suck. So we want to talk real quick here about these Tamarack tires, of which I know nothing about, but I do know that they're not Castle Rocks, which is a huge plus. They're rated to 81 miles an hour, which is perfect because we're never going to see anywhere close to that. I like to have a good bit of buffer zone with the speed rating of tires, which is the big problem with Castle Rocks, is they only go to 75. The Goodyears go higher, but I'm not gonna replace these. We're gonna kind of be a guinea pig here and see how these play out. Obviously, we have TPMS system and we inspect them regularly, all that good stuff. So So we got outdoor speakers, which is something that's pretty important to us. We usually have the radio on when we're camping. There's an outlet here which you could use for cooking appliances or things like that. We normally have a table sitting out here, or you can use it for a TV. There's a cable hookup here. This is what we've got for an outdoor kitchen. I would say is somewhat of a deficiency, but it does come with this nice griddle, which is awesome. It's a griddle and a grill, so you just take this off and you can use that as a grill. So we have not used it yet, but I imagine that this is going to get some use over the years. And then it comes with a propane hose and you just hook it up under there, and then a small mini fridge. But like I said, there is no storage space here. So in our old one, we had a cooktop and stuff, and there was a way to store things. This one, because of the interior floor plan, there's no way for there to be exterior storage out here. And then this door, if you was lower on this side, the door is going to be somewhat like this, which isn't a huge deal, but because this would be out, and so I don't think that it would ever be something you'd run into, but it's certainly not ideal, I don't think. There's a quick connect here for a water hose, which is great because you want access to water while you're outside. We'll be using this, I'm sure, quite a bit. But again, there's no place to put your hose back here, so it's up in the pass-through somewhere. This is the furnace for inside. This here is the major deficiency of this rig. It's a Suburban instant hot water heater. There's a lot of problems with that though. Number one, it's not really instant hot water. It takes a while for it to register flow and kick on and actually do something, and for you to actually get the hot water. It uses a lot of propane, and it causes you to use a lot of water. So like here we don't have hookups. We've gone through water like never before when we're camping, because you can't shut the shower off from the button on the shower head like you normally would. You got to keep that on, because if you shut that off, this thing just stops completely and the whole pipeline fills up with cold water, and then you get a really cold shower in between your hot showers. So you can't do that. It says in the directions that you can't do that. I think it's a really stupid thing for RVs, and I'm going to get off the soapbox there. Your city water connection is here, and your black tank flush is here. Black tank flush is nice. We've never had that before, so we're excited to be able to flush out the tanks a little better and hopefully not end up with a poop pyramid. But where the city water hookup is, that's going to require us to buy a longer hose, because your water post is normally somewhere in the middle section of the RV over there, and you got to run it the whole way back here, so we're going to have to buy a longer hose. This is poor placement as well, just like the freshwater fill is in a bad spot. But you got cable and satellite here if you ever have a site that has that. Comes with a spare. I think it's a Tamarack just like the rest. We always carry a portable gray tank. That didn't come with the rig though. This is a 50 amp connection, because it does come with 2 ACs, so we'll show you that when we get inside. This is actually in a good spot because normally your pedestal is over here somewhere, so it provides a good bit of cord. You got a big slide, and your tank dumps are up there, under there. As far as I know, there's 3 tanks. There's a black, a galley, and a gray. I believe the galley is under the sink, and the gray is up under the bathroom. Right now, they're kind of tied together, but there are valves that you can separate them. So we're going to experiment with that and try to figure out what's what. We've had plenty of tank storage from a gray perspective to get us through this trip, but we've had to refill the fresh tank carrying jugs from a spigot. That's why I'm saying we've used a lot of water. The length of this thing, friends, as far as being in your site, if you're not used to something this long, you can see how our site is very sloped, and we were not able to get perfectly level in this site just because of the length of rig. We were setting up in the dark, otherwise maybe I'd have tried harder. We could have backed up further maybe. Slide interference with the electrical pedestal, so we'd have had to been this way some too. But it's a learning experience for us because we're coming from something 10 feet shorter. From here, you can really see how long this thing is. It takes some getting used to, but we're getting there. Now we're gonna take a look inside, see what there is to see. Oh look, Rachel's in here.
Hello. Let's start back here and then move that way. We have much bigger space inside actually now. We have our private bedroom with a door, so we don't have to share our bed with the dogs. Everyone talks about how great this bed is. It's a versatile bed, tilts up and down, and everyone talks about it like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's okay, I guess. Like if you want to sit up in bed and read, then it works, or sit up and watch TV. There's space for a TV in here. Standard closets on either side and above the beds. What's nice about this one is we have doors, so like we can put things up there and not have to worry about it flying out. It comes equipped with that's a mess, sorry. We have space for like stuff now, so we have stuff.
Because we have a slide, we had to buy a telescoping ladder, which you'll see in probably one of the vlogs, I'm sure, of me going up there to sweep off the top of the slide. But yeah, prep for washer dryer.
Prep for it, but we don't need it, so we've got a nice place to hang coats. I've got my sweeper in there and Swiffer now.
The Coachman RVs and some other things we were looking at had like a window in the master here, which we thought was nice. But in this rig, these windows on the sides, they're on both sides.
That makes
plenty
up for
sufficient.
it, yeah.
So I actually prefer what we have.
So
If the bed was flat, you can access the pass-through from here. Like our previous RV, the pass-through isn't sealed off, so you don't want to store anything that might be smelly in the pass-through, because when the bed's tilted up like this, anything that's in there that may smell, it's coming right up into here. You do want to be wary of that, but at the same time, it's nice because you can get to things in the pass-through this way, certain big bulky items, instead of crawling through positives and negatives to everything.
we do have 2 ACs in this rig, so we've got one in our bedroom and then one out in the living area. It was not hot enough to even think about needing that.
There's a light switch in here too, which is a nice touch. Our old one was puck lights everywhere, so if you wanted lights, you had to hit every single one. This one, there are actually light switches, which is a plus.
And we've got a bathroom with a sliding door, and like everything's in the bathroom this time, and it's kind of small, so just a shower, no tub this time. Normal plastic foot flush toilet, and then the sink is in here, which is different from our last rig. Sink, nice counter space. So we have shelving over here. All of this is like open shelving and then open under there. The only thing enclosed storage-wise in here is the medicine cabinet. I had things packed away and nothing fell out on our whole drive up here, so that was nice. We have these command strips from the old one, but apparently not the right sticky. So one of them fell off, so we're gonna have to get different stickies for our command strips. But we put this command hook toilet paper holder, and I'm gonna get another one for a hand towel to put here.
Talk about the shower.
That's standard, came with the rig, don't really care for it. Shoots water at your face and nowhere else unless you take it off the wall. But other than that, like, I feel like we've got a lot more space. It might be smaller than the old tub shower, but it feels bigger, so. We're
gonna upgrade the faucet, the sink, and the shower head over the winter. We just want to try to figure out what's priority items.
This shower curtain thing isn't my favorite thing in the world, but I haven't noticed any trouble with splashing water out. So we had a horrible time in our old rig. Water was constantly getting splashed out of the tub shower. So this is nice to have this become totally enclosed.
Another thing, friends, I should mention is these roof vents. They don't come with a vent cover. So if you want to open these in the rain, you got to buy a vent cover and install it. So luckily we knew it wasn't going to rain this trip. We haven't got one yet, but like when you're camping in the cold and you're running the propane heat, you're going to get condensation in your rig unless you keep this vent cracked. You're going to want a vent cover, because if it's raining and it's cold, you're going to be running the heat and you're going to have a problem. When you come through the door, you got a light switch that turns on all the lights in here. And it's also a dimmer, so if you hold it, hopefully the lights will dim. So that's pretty cool. We got a control panel which controls mostly everything. You got a slide, the awning, different sets of lights, the water pump, and you got all these tanks, but we haven't quite figured things out yet. The galley, which it's saying is full, I believe is the kitchen. The gray, I believe, is what's under here. Black is obvious, and then the fresh tank, which it says empty because we've used a lot of water because of the water heater and shower head debacle. And then of course a battery gauge, which if it's anything like the one in our old rig, pretty much useless. This is your main AC control, and this is the one for in the bedroom. Not sure exactly how that works yet, but if this is on the thermostat for out here and it's controlling an AC that's back in there, I don't see how that makes sense. Unless there's a thermostat maybe on the unit and it just reads it out here. Don't know. This is for the Suburban hot water heater, which, like we said, is using a lot of propane and causing us to use a lot of water. But it also sucks if you have full hookups, because if your shower is too long, it automatically shuts off. I read it like 20 minutes, you're done. You get cold water after that. Then you gotta reset it. So that's stupid. I really have nothing good to say about this Suburban hot water heater thing, other than that you can control the temperature and dial it in exactly to what temperature you want. For your shower, you just turn on the hot water and no cold, and that'll get you to whatever you have it preset at. We do have a solar panel. It's 200 watts. That'll be recharging the two 6-volt golf cart batteries while we're boondocking. We have not got to boondock yet with this rig, but we'll be doing it in the spring. So if boondocking with a 200 watt panel and the golf cart batteries is something you're interested in the next couple months or so, we should have something out. Just look for a thumbnail that says something about boondocking, and that'll have the info there for you.
Then this is our main living space. This is all part of the slide from from here down to the fridge, and below. Storage, pantry, fridge, all kinds of storage. And then shelves over there, which I thought that was gonna be like really dumb and we would never use those, but I use those to put the kids' storybooks on while we were here. Keys, flashlight. It's a nice knick-knack catcher to keep stuff off of, the couch. Which, moving to the couch, look at all the space we have now. We can all sit together as a family on this couch.
And then some.
And then also, it's not just a couch. If you have extra guests, you've got extra sleeping space. So that's nice. There is storage under the couch. 3 or 4 plastic bins under there. And then this one is where the water pump is. Is that what that is?
Yeah, there's a water pump.
So you can access the water pump under there.
Real quick, the water pump, this one actually comes prepped to winterize it with the shutoff valve, and there's a hose, so you just put the hose in your antifreeze and suck it in. We bought one of those kits before, but this one comes prepped for that, so it's nice that they give you those things nowadays.
We can go over the entertainment center. So we have a fireplace that can be just for lighting, or it can be for electric heat, which we've been using this trip quite a bit. Right above it is the speaker sound bar. So that's where we usually got our radio playing. And then right above that is where you'd hang a TV. We have a TV to put there, we just need to get the wall mount for it. Lily's laying right in front of the pantry. So I was excited to have a pantry at first, and I'm still excited about it, but it is, all right, dog. Shoo. You do have to be careful about how you organize things in here, and obviously I don't have things organized and optimized in there. We were just going for a short trip, so I didn't have to fit a lot of things in there. But I fit all the food that we needed, so, and the dog food, which might find a different home. 12-volt fridge, freezer, a lot of space. Easily much bigger than our last one. And you'll notice the lack of child safety-proof latches, because in theory, this will stay latched going down the road. This moves in all the way to the couch, so at least this will stay shut, and then this, it does click really nicely. What we'd like to do is collect magnets from places that we go. So we have a really nice magnet collection that used to live on the fridge, but they don't live on this fridge anymore. I don't know what this fridge is made of, but it is not magnetic. And then this is now my kitchen. Look at all the space I have. It's not this wide. I have space, and we have all been in here at the same time with minimal annoyance. Still annoyance, but minimal annoyance. That's kind of nice. We're not wasting space with the dinette. We've got countertops and stools, which has gotten a little bit crowded for 2 adults and 2 children, but you turn the stools like this, problem solved. No problem. That's nice. We do have one cupboard over here that will house our cast iron probably. There's not that much space. It's not like anything earth-shattering, so. But it's nice. I have an oven in this one that I was just thinking I'm gonna have to start carrying around a cookie sheet and one casserole dish just in case, because I never had an oven before. And I'm probably more excited about that than I should be. I've been warned not to expect too much out of it, but still excited. Same 3-burner stove setup. This one's nice. These panels come out separately, so it's a little bit easier to clean, but it's worked well. It's just a stove. Works nice. Storage here, pots and pans. Storage here. Whereas before in the old camper I had maybe this and like some drawers. But microwave, it's got some cookies in it. And more storage. Like the storage just keeps going on and on and on. Drawers all over. So the one thing I had mentioned in the bathroom is there's no like enclosed storage, no doors or anything. So all of the chemicals that used to live under the sink in the bathroom, like the tank treatment, now lives under this sink because I have nowhere safe to put it in the bathroom. Normal sink. It came with one of those roller strainer things. We don't need it to expand our counter space, so it's in storage. This is interesting. I haven't decided if I like it or not, but it is nice because you can change the spray to
It's either one stream or like a bunch of them.
Yeah, I don't know what the word is. There's a word for that, but I like that part. But like, I don't know how I feel about the hose thing. It's kind of, if you forget, then it's gonna, because I did that once. Yeah, I don't know. That's the kitchen. It's a really nice kitchen.
I'm sure people are wondering, where did the kids sleep? And we're going to get to that in just a second. Rachel mentioned real quick the windows in here. That is essentially the selling feature of this rig. And we've seen other people rave about the windows in their rig, but they ain't got nothing on this, okay? There's windows everywhere.
And all of these windows open.
Yes, so you can get a breeze.
So you can get all kinds of air in here in the early summer and spring without having to run your AC. Maybe you like the AC, maybe you don't, but it's nice. You can open all of these windows.
But the windows have really changed the camping experience when the weather isn't ideal. Okay, so like this trip would have probably been horrible in the old camper because we were all cramped in there. You can't see outside. It's cold outside, so you can't really go outside, especially like mornings for breakfast and stuff.
Well, and the kids have had a touch of a cold or something, so you don't want them out there in the cold morning air while they're suffering like that. So it's been nice to be able to cook in here, eat right here, and enjoy the view.
Well, we got to, well, yesterday and today, we're facing east. So we got to enjoy the sunrise out the living room windows. You could sit here on the couch and look behind you and see the sunrise. In our old rig, you wasn't gonna see no sunrise out of anywhere. And even if you're laying in bed and like it's summertime, the sunrise is earlier, you'd get to see it.
And it's nice too, the kids have, look at all that space. I know that he's like on the dog bed, but we have space for dog beds now. The dogs can be off the couch. And the kids have been playing, like he's been running his tractors up and down the floor.
And of course, this not being an ultralight, you get 6'9" ceilings. So you don't feel like you're in some sort of cave. And it allows the windows to be higher. We contemplated the 24 view, which is an ultralight. And the shorter ceilings and the lesser windows, it just kind of was a turn off. We could have probably dealt with 5 less feet in length, but we wanted the cargo capacity of this one, which is 1,500 pounds. I don't think I said that outside, and we wanted the high ceilings. That's why we went with the 29 over the 24.
Last but definitely not least is where the children sleep.
In the cupboard.
Yeah, we squeeze them right in there. This is what the slide is for. Ta-da! So each bunk has access to 2 shelves each, and each shelf has 2 cubbies in it, plus those very nice nifty stairs there each has a cupboard or a cubby in it. So the children have a lot of storage in their room. They've got a lot of space in their room. Each bunk has a window. There's a window here. This was different than the prototypes we saw. So in the prototypes we saw, the window ended like right here. This is floor to ceiling window right there. They've got a desk and a stool of their own if we're ever camping and Sarah or William does homework when he gets old enough. So this is easily one of the things we like the most about the rig is the private space that the children have. There's venting for supposedly heat. We haven't figured that part out. That's why we've got a space heater in there right now. And there's venting for the air conditioning. So the air conditioning, there's a hose right up there that pushes air right into their bunk room, so they are nice and comfy.
I'm not sure about the heat situation, but there's a couple things I will say as it relates to that is the bottom bunk, because of the difference in temperature between outside and inside, the floor was condensating under his mattress, so that's not good. We lifted that up during the day so that it would dry out, because we obviously don't want mold or some such thing. We're going to have to build something to make that not happen, but of course in the summer it won't be a big deal. We do have a space heater in there. At night we had it up on top of the desk so that he couldn't reach it. An oil-filled electric one would be ideal for that, and that's probably what we'll get because that'll be, I don't want to say it's fireproof, but is less likely to cause a fire if there's an issue compared to this one. Plus this one may end up living in our bedroom. We are using a lot of propane to heat this bad boy, so we would like to have the propane essentially just be a supplement to electric, and we're paying for the electric at the sites. So friends, we were looking for a rig that would really address the deficiencies in the camping experience for us, especially when the weather's inclement. That's why we wanted something bigger and more spacious. We also enjoy being outside. And as you can see around us, everywhere you look, there's outside. Do you think this addresses the deficiencies and it brings the outside inside?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I'm still as excited about this rig as I was when we were shopping for one. Even after spending 3 nights in it and discovering quirks and imperfections, I'm still excited about it as I was before.
Nobody else makes a floor plan like this. The day that this came out, I was like, this is what we're getting.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been so excited about an RV floor plan.
My brother, he knew we were looking for one, and he sent me a short on Instagram, or a reel on Instagram, and I saw it and I was like, that's amazing, and I instantly showed it to Ryan, and we would have found out about this probably on our own, but Nathan, thank you for speeding that process up for us.
I think we're one of the first people to own it. Definitely the first on YouTube, although who knows by the time this video comes out. Tune in every Thursday at 5 o'clock to see where we take this thing. There's a few episodes already with an adventure to Black Shannon State Park in central Pennsylvania. Everywhere we go, you're going to get a view out these windows, so tune in every Thursday night for the 29 view.